today we are taking a practice focusing on the legs. So we'll be working on strengthening and stretching through the hamstrings today, as well as strengthening the muscles that support the knees, so the quads particularly. So you will need a blanket today if you're on a laminate or wooden or slidey kind of floor. If you're on carpet, consider getting something like something laminated, something like a laminated sheet or paper plate, something like that. Okay, so we're going to start lying down. We're going to lie on the mat with the knees bent, feet down onto the floor, where we will take a couple of breaths here, resting the hands onto the belly or out to the sides, and just close the eyes for a couple of moments whilst we bring our focus in onto our mat, into our own bodies. Just taking a couple of breaths, focusing on the breath here. There's no right or wrong way to breathe, just notice the breath just for a couple of moments. And then when you're ready to start, we can flicker open the eyes. We're going to draw the knees into the chest. We're bringing one hand onto each knee here, and we're going to swim the knees. So we're taking the knees away from each other as we circle the knees out away from each other, like we're swimming the breaststroke. And let's swim those knees in the other direction. And we'll draw the knees in towards the chest once again. Okay, take a hold of the back of one thigh, put the other foot down to the mat. So we're going to extend the leg up towards the ceiling. If your knee stays bent, so be it, that's absolutely fine. Just kick away through the heel so that that leg starts to lengthen, but it doesn't matter if that knee's still bent. Shoulders should be relaxed down onto the mat. We're simply pointing and flexing the toes here. So push the toes up towards the ceiling as far as you're happy with, and draw the toes towards the shin. And then we'll circle the ankle in one direction. And as we circle the ankle, point and flex at the same time. So we're taking a big rotation to the ankle. And then we'll circle in the other direction. And we'll draw that knee in, draw the other knee in. And then we'll swap on over, so take a hold of the back of the other thigh, other foot pops down to the floor. Extend the leg, and we'll point and flex the toes. Again, making sure your shoulders are relaxed into the mat. And let's circle the ankle in one direction. Again, making sure we point and flex the toes at the same time, so we're getting as big a rotation as possible. And then rotate in the other direction. Okay, let's draw that knee in, draw the other knee in. Let's squeeze the knees in towards the chest, lift the head up towards the knees and draw ourselves into a tight ball. Take an in-breath here, and as you exhale, soften it down. Keep the knees in, but relax the head, the neck, the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to let go of the legs, keep the knees drawn in, arms reach above, and we can move the arms and legs to help us here. We're rocking from head to tail. So keep the forehead drawing towards the knees here, so that we're rounding through the spine. And we'll come all the way up to seated when you're ready. And from there we're going to just bring the feet out in front of you and drop both knees over to the right. Separate your legs so that we're able to rest them towards the floor. This left hip will be lifted, right hip will be rested on the floor. Okay, just stay there for a little moment and focus on trying to soften your left hip down towards the earth. Okay, open the arms out to the sides. We are simply twisting one direction, then the other. And you can look from one hand to the other as you twist. Okay. Pop the hands down, lift the knees. Let's take it over to the other side. So again, separating the knees so that we can rest the shins down towards the floor. Right hip starts to sink, but it doesn't have to touch the mat. Okay, let's open the arms out and take that little twist left to right. Again, looking from one hand to the other. Doesn't matter which hand. Okay, let's turn forwards again. Lift the knees. Okay, so we're going to sway the knees without using the hands if possible from side to side here. So you can take the arms out to the sides. Good. And we can add a twist in the same direction as the knees. Lift and twist in the same direction as the knees. See, I have one knee resting on top of one foot as I go. That's fine. Just allow the legs to do whatever they do here. And we'll turn to face forwards again. Lovely. You may need to shuffle back onto your mat once more. And from here, we're going to come to standing. So coming up to stand, coming to the top of the mat. Let's rest the hands down to the sides, palms turned out. As we inhale, we'll reach the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, hands down to the sides. Good. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky, come up onto the toes. And exhale, heels down, hands down. Okay, once more. And heels down, hands down. Brilliant. Just step back into the centre of the mat for me. Okay. So make sure the feet are at least hip distance wide here, just for balance as we move in and out of a few lunge poses. So we're going to step our right foot forwards for a very short lunge. So it's just a little squat lunge here. We're going to drop the back knee down to the floor and then come on all the way back. Step that front foot back to centre. Same foot, right foot goes back down the mat. Bend the knees, maybe tap the floor with that back knee. Maybe not, it doesn't matter. Come on all the way up. Come back to centre. Right foot once again, steps forwards. Drop the knee down, come all the way up. You may wish to step straight back and then bend the knee. Coming up, we'll stick with that right foot. One more time forwards. Bend the knee, maybe tap the floor. Come on up and take the foot back. Bend the knee, tap the floor. Lovely. Coming back to centre. Let's take our left foot forwards for a short lunge. Bend the knee, maybe tap the floor. Come on all the way up. Let's step that foot to centre first of all. And then step the left foot back. Drop the knee down towards the floor. Come on back up. Back to centre. Okay. Step it forwards. Bend the knees. Maybe step it straight back. Bend the knees. One more time stepping forwards. And one more time stepping back. And come on back to centre. Good. Okay, from here I'd like you to bend the knees and remain upright in the torso. So it's like the weight of the hips is still coming down through into the heels, shoulders above the hips. We can bring the arms out in front of us, so we take the arms out of the equation here. Okay, so from here I'd like you to stay as you are and just bend the knees a little further, so we're just lowering and coming back to where we started. So just warming up, quads up. Okay, find your space where you can maintain this posture, and from there we're going to start to shift the weight around the outer edges of the feet. So I'm taking the weight into the toes, then the outer edge, then the heel, then the other outer edge and the toes again. So it's like we're working our way round the outer edge of the feet, yet still maintaining this posture. And then we'll take those circles in the other direction. And coming back, let's straighten those knees for a little moment, rest the hands down. And then we're going to come back into that high squat. Bring the hands in front of you again. And from here, we're going to take both knees over to the right, yet reach our shoulders over to the left. Coming back to centre, both knees go over to the left, shoulders reach over to the right. And as you do so, you'll be rocking onto the outer edge of one foot, inner edge of the other foot. So we're just taking our hips and our shoulders in opposite directions. A couple more times each way. And then come all the way back to centre and come to stance. Okay, lovely. So, you may wish to turn to the wide edge of your mat, so you've got space on your mat here. We're going to stand right in the centre of the mat. We're going to simply step the right foot out a little bit, about hip distance wide, bend the knees and come down towards a squat. We don't have to reach the floor. We're going to take the foot a little bit wider, bend the knees, come into a squat. And then take the feet even wider, bend the knees, and all the way up. Bring that foot back in a little, back into our squat, in a little bit more, back into our squat. And then bring the feet together. Okay, let's take that left foot out a little way and bend the knees. As we do so, stay relatively upright, but it doesn't matter if we hinge at the hips here. I just don't want you to arch through the spine so much. Come on all the way up. Take the feet a little bit wider, so left foot out a little bit wider. And again, don't worry if you hinge at the hips. Just don't focus on trying to draw the chest forward and stick the bottom back. And one more time, foot out wide, sit into our squat. Good. Step that foot in once more, all the way down and up, and then bring it back to centre. Okay, we're going to do that one more time, and really focus as you squat on, if you hinge at the hips, that's absolutely fine, but try to remain relatively upright in our torso, so that we're using the strength of our quads as much as possible. Okay, and as we step the right foot out, feel free to draw the heels in a little bit closer towards each other if you wish, and lower as low as you want to into your squat, and come all the way back up. Once again, just a little way out, hinging at the hips if you need to, sitting down a little bit lower into your squat than last time. And step the foot as wide as you're happy to. Heels, as I say, can be drawn in a little bit, and feel like your knees are really drawing away from each other here as we come into this squat. Coming all the way back up. In just a little step, Sit it down, all the way up, in a little more, sit it down, and come all the way up. Bring the feet together, let's go out to the left, foot out about hip distance wide, sit as low as you're happy to in your squat, and come all the way back up. Out a little bit further, sit on down, all the way up, and out as wide as you can on your mat. Sit it down, really feel like the knees draw away from each other here and come all the way up. Step it in a little touch more, down and up, and in a touch more, down and up, and then we'll come back to centre. Okay, give your legs a shake out if you need to. Okay, so let's step at the top of our mat. We're going to turn the palms out, inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, folding it down, draping it down. Inhaling, hands come to the shins. Take a moment here in your half lift. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Draw the crown of the head forwards. Shift the weight into the big toes a little bit so we feel the hamstrings opening, the back nice and strong here. Okay, pop the hands down to the floor. We're stepping the right leg down the mat, dropping the right knee down to the floor. Reach the arms up into our lunge. Keep reaching the fingertips up as you soften the shoulders down, keeping upright in the torso here. Pop the hands down to the floor. Let's step it back to a plank pose. Take a full in breath here. And we'll exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, draw the chest forward into cobra and push it all the way back to downward facing dog. Let's step the right foot to the top of the mat, followed by the left, bringing the hands to the shins into that nice strong half lift. So it doesn't matter where the hands are here, whether they're up onto the thighs or right down towards the ankles, maybe even on the floor, so long as we've got that strong back, strong legs. Let's step the left leg down the mat, pop the left knee down, reach the arms up to the sky, reaching up through the fingers, relaxing through the shoulders, looking directly forwards. Popping the hands to the mat, step it back to a plank pose. Take a full in breath here. Exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, lift on up to cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Let's step the left foot to the top of the mat, followed by the right. Grounding down through the feet, reaching up through the arms, lifting through the chest, and bring the hands to the heart. Okay, let's reach those arms all the way up once more. Exhale, folding it down. Inhaling, hands to the shins, holding that half lift. Pop the hands down, slip the right leg down the mat. This time, have a bend in your right knee, but don't bring it all the way to the floor. We're going to reach the arms up. Good. In fact, let's bring the hands all the way to the hips. Keep that bend to the back knee. Keep kicking back through that back heel. Relax the shoulders, chest lifted. Okay. We're going to bend that back knee even further to bring the knee to a hover above the mat and then lift on back up. So we're doing these little pulses here. So the back knee bends but doesn't come all the way to the floor. And next time you lift, reach the arms up, pop the hands to the floor. Step it back to a downward facing dog. Wave it forwards to a plank pose, taking in breath there. Exhale low to the floor or chaturanga, lifting up to cobra or upward dog, and pushing back to downward facing dog. Let's take that right foot all the way to the top of the mat, followed by the left. Hands come to the shins to make that half lift L shape. Pop the hands to the mat, step the left leg down the mat. Keep a little bend in that left knee. Reach the arms up into our high lunge. Then we'll bring the hands to the hips. And if you find that you're collapsing into your low back here, really focus on tilting the pelvis forwards for me. So it's like we've drawn the pelvis forwards, tailbone down, belly in sort of thing. So don't focus on that bit, focus on the tilt of the pelvis. Okay, so we're going to lower the back knee down towards the floor and lift several times. So that's those little pulses with that anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, come on all the way up, hands reach up. Pop the hands to the floor, push it back to a downward dog. Let's step the left foot to the top of the mat, followed by the right. Grounding down through the feet, coming all the way up to stand. And bring the hands to the heart. Okay, lovely. Reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding it down. Hands come to the shins. Pop the hands to the mat, step the right leg down the mat. Pop the right knee down. Reach the arms up and then bring the hands together at the heart. Take the elbows wide, push the hands together. Keep the back toes tucked for me. So we're nice and upright in the torso, we're pushing through the hands, elbows wide, yet we're not hunching up through the shoulders, we're nice and relaxed. We're going to turn to the left so that we've still got the elbows nice and high, we're just adding this little twist here, still nice and upright. Now we're going to bring that right elbow towards the left knee, push the elbow into the thigh, push the hands together, spin the ribs round towards the hands so we're into our twist here. Okay. If you can and if you want to, kick back through that back heel to lift to a high lunge. And then lower the knee down again. Lift on back up, keep the hands together. Now, with those back toes still tucked, we're going to turn to the wide edge of the mat, lifting that back knee and turning into a goddess squat. So I'll just turn to face towards you. Good. Keep the hips sinking down, keep pushing through the outer edge of the feet, knees wide. Good. And now we're going to come back to that squat. So we're bringing the back knee all the way down to the floor and turning forwards into our lunge again. Reach the arms up to the sky. Okay, pop both hands to the inside of your front foot. Shuffle that left foot out further to the side. So we've got that left foot further out to the left side of the mat, hands to the inside. Okay, lovely. So we can keep the back knee down or we can tuck the toes and lift the back knee. Entirely up to you where you go from here. Okay, let's reach our left hand. So right hand stays where it is. Left hand lifts up towards the sky. Into our twist. And then we'll bring the hand down. Drop the back knee down. And we can allow that left knee to knock it out to the side here now. And allow the hips to sink towards the floor. Keep lifting through the chest. Now the left hand can come onto the hip if it wants to, or it can stay there on the floor. And again, you can have the back knee lifted if you want to here, that's fine. Pop the hands down to the floor. We're going to push it back to a downward facing dog. From our down dog, let's take the right foot to the top of the mat and follow it with the left foot. Bring the hands to the shins into our half lift. Allow the weight of the hips to shift forwards into the big toes. Pop the hands to the mat. Let's take the left leg down the mat. Pop the left knee down. Reach the arms up. Keep the back toes tucked. And we'll bring the hands together at the heart. Okay, push the hands together. Elbows stay the same height as the hands. We're going to turn. And we're going to pop our left elbow down onto our right thigh now. Pushing the hands together, increasing that twist. Okay. Maybe you might want to lift into a high lunge there by kicking away through the back heel, lifting the back knee. And then pop the back knee down. Lift on back up here. Now we're going to turn into our goddess. So we're going to bring the hands forwards, lift the back knee, open it out into our goddess. So heels can draw in slightly. So we can sink the bottom down, really draw the knees away from each other. And then we'll turn to the top of the mat again. So back knee drops down, turn to the top of the mat. Okay, pop the hands down to the floor, to the inside of that front foot. Shuffle the right foot out to the right hand side a little bit. Lift the back knee if you wish by kicking back through the back heel. Keep the left hand where it is. Right hand reaches up for our twist. Bring the hand all the way down to the floor. Okay, pop the back knee down or keep it raised if you prefer. And we're going to allow the right knee to sink out to the side. We're lifting through the chest. Maybe right hand wants to come onto the right hip. So we can come into this dragon lunge. Again, feel free to lift that back knee if you wish. Let's bring the hands all the way to the floor. Draw the knee in, push it back to a downward dog. And we'll step that left foot, followed by the right, all the way to the top of the mat, coming all the way up to stand. And then hands. Okay, so we're going to, from the top of our mat, bring our right elbow to touch the left knee. And once we've done that, stay nice and upright. We're going to then extend that right leg out behind us for a warrior three. We can reach the hands towards the toes or out to the side. And we're going to bend our standing knee, bend the other knee, bring that back knee towards the floor so that you can reach it back out into your warrior three. And then bring left knee to right elbow as we come all the way to stand. Okay, let's do that on the other leg. So, right elbow comes towards left knee as we stay as upright as we can. We're going to extend that leg behind us into a warrior three. Then bend the knees with bringing this back knee towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch because we want to be able to come back to our warrior three. and bring the left knee to right elbow, come all the way to stand. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So left elbow, right knee, tap, extend back to our warrior three. Bend the knees as low as you can. Open it back out. Left knee to right elbow as we come up to stand. Okay, other side one more time. Right elbow, left knee. Extend to warrior three. Bend the knees, bring that back knee as low as you can. Open back out. Right knee to left elbow, all the way to stand. We're going to do that one more time with a little addition, so we'll go nice and slow. Left elbow, right knee once more. Extend to our warrior three. Bend those knees. Now we're bringing that back knee all the way to the floor. You may need the hands to help you get there. Once we're there, bring the toes down. Sit back onto that back heel. So it's like we're in a lunge and kneeling at the same time. So of course you can use your hands. We're going to lift this right knee away from the floor, which means our left leg is going to start to straighten. We're going to bring that back heel down to the floor if we can and extend that leg. Of course you can sit all the way onto the floor. Maybe your bottom's hovering just like mine is. And once you're there, maybe you can lift that left heel away from the floor. Keep kicking the heel forwards. And you know what's going to happen. We're going to reverse it back now. So bring that right knee down to the floor, left knee bends. And we're going to lift back to our warrior three. And then bring left elbow to right knee. Back to stand. Okay, other side. Right elbow to left knee. Back to our warrior three. Bend the knees, bring that left knee all the way to the floor. Of course you can use your hands. And keep the back toe tucked, so we're going to sit back onto the heel. Now we're going to lift the left knee. Draw the left heel down to the floor. Maybe the bottom comes to the floor or stays to a hover. Right heel now can lift. And let's reverse. Okay, we're coming back to warrior three. And then left knee to right elbow. Come all the way back. Well done. Don't worry, you can rewind it and do all that again if you want to. Okay, so from here, let's reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, hands to the shins. Come on back to a low lunge. So right knee drops to the floor, but have that right knee quite close to the top of the mat, because I'd like you to be able to bring your left foot onto your blanket that is at the top of your mat here. Okay, so we're into a low lunge, front foot on the blanket. Let's come up to our low lunge. And we'll bring the hands to the hips, but don't worry, you can do whatever you like. You can either keep your hands down onto the floor, onto blocks, or do whatever you like with the hands for balance. Okay, so we're going to start to straighten the front leg and then bring it back in. So that's why you can do whatever you like with your hands, because this is wobbly. So we're going to extend the left leg, lift the toes up as well, and then bring it back in. So let's do that a couple more times. Extend the leg, bring it back in. And as we do so, feel like you're kicking the heel forwards and then dragging the heel back in. So we're pushing the heel forwards, pulling the heel back in. Okay, Now I'd like you to extend that leg one more time. I'm going to try and do this without hands just so you can focus on what's going on, but of course you can use hands. If you can elevate the hands onto blocks, that's even better. So now we're going to extend that foot further forwards. And then you need to be able to bring that heel back. You can cheat like me and bring the hand onto a wall. Good. So a wall is brilliant. so that I can go further and show you and turn to look at the camera to make sure I don't disappear off it. I'll do that again. Good, nice. And of course there's nothing wrong with hands being on the floor. Good. And take that as many times as you like. And of course, if you're super bendy in your hamstring, super stretchy even in your hamstrings, you are more than welcome when that front leg is extended out to shuffle your back knee back, okay? So if the hands are on the floor like mine here, make sure that you're leaning forward slightly if we're not very confident in our splits like me. If you're super confident in your splits and you can lift them up, do so, but I recommend hands on block if that's the case. Okay, draw that heel back in for our lunge. Step that foot back onto the mat, and then we're going to swap on over. So again, make sure you're close to the top of your mat. We're going to take the right foot onto the blanket, coming up into a high lunge, hand on wall, hand on blocks, hands on hips, whatever. And we're going to straighten and bend that front leg a few times. Kick the heel forwards, drag the heel back. Kick it forwards, drag it back. So we're not just dropping into flexibility, we're strengthening at the same time. Okay, so the next time that your leg extends out, feel free to extend and draw back in towards our splits. Only go as far as you can that you can pull yourself back. So the next time that leg's extended, hold it there. You can pop the hands down to the floor and shuffle your left knee back. Either stay here, bring the hands up onto blocks, or if you're into your splits fully, come as upright as you can. Good. And we're going to draw that heel in, bend the knee, come back onto the mat. Lovely. And from here, come to sit onto the bottom. Extend the legs out in front. Okay. So have a little wobble about with the legs, have a little shuffle with the hips, make sure you're comfortable there. Okay, so feet can be together or slightly apart. We're going to lift the toes up towards the ceiling, sit nice and upright here. Let's reach the arms up to the sky. And please do stay there if you can. If you feel like you can't keep yourself upright, please bring the hands behind you to prop yourselves up. And if you're happy and confident here with the arms raised, maybe you can start to draw the chest towards the toes, just the chest towards the toes. Arms can keep reaching. And once you're reaching as far forward through the chest as you're happy with, pop the hands down, see where your hands reach on the legs, and keep drawing the chest forwards. Keeping the toes lifting towards the sky. Taking a couple more breaths there. Maybe you might wish to fold deeper, only if you're still able to draw that chest forwards. And then when you're ready, we'll come out of that forward fold. And we'll come all the way down to lie on the mat. Or with legs up the wall, or wherever your relaxation place is. So when you're happy with how you're lying on the mat, whether the legs are outstretched or the knees are bent or the legs are up the wall, tuck the chin towards the chest, relax with the shoulders, turn the palms up towards the sky. And just take several moments to notice the breath. And once you are completely relaxed on your mat, stay there for as long as you wish. Take a guided meditation, listen to some music, or just lie in quiet, peaceful space for a few minutes. And then whenever you're ready, come on up. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you next time.